bacon?
Turkey bacon. That sounds disgustingly healthy.
Fuck these fakes behind me. Can you see my photo or whatever?
Yeah. So,
I hate all these fools.
dang, that feels that's how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I don't want to waste this. It's a lot of questions, friend.
Yeah, I know it's a lot of questions. Yeah.
It's a lot of questions, but like the content that I've been able to create so far has been very beautiful. So I'm so excited to have you a part of this. My intention in creating these like profiles is to, like, I've realized that like the entryway for talking about Blackness and queerness has always been through the entryway is always through homophobia, transphobia, racism, all these things. So my intention of like these conversations is to get like a multiplicity of perspectives, firsthand accounts, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So is you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, cool. So tell me about yourself. What's your name, your age, your occupation, what you do in life, what makes you happy, all those good things.
Wow, that's a lot of. I'm Jonathan Tolliver, and I'm 22 years old. I'm 34. I made video. Oh, okay, I'm a singer. I'm a musician, and an actor, and a video editor. And my main gig is editing hardcore gay pornography, which I've done for 5 years. I don't know. I also write for local publications. I'm a journalist. And what else do you want to know?
You're all the things.
Yeah, I do know. It's LA, baby.
Yeah, I know. We have to have like 1,000 careers just to like make up for the finance of like one of them.
Exactly.
If you feel comfortable answering this question, what's your gender expression and sexual identity?
He, him, and then I just say like queer. I'm like pretty much down for like a big booty, you know what I'm saying? Like big old fat ass.
On anyone?
On anyone.
Got you.
On anyone. But I think I've literally at this point in my life, I think if we have to do it math-wise, it's been about 50% women and 50% men out of the 100 people I've slept with.
That's so cute, friend, for you.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Yeah, get that number up.
Thank you.
Has that always been like your? Wait, you answered your sexual identity, but what is your gender? Well, you said he, him, so that makes sense. Okay.
Right.
Where? Right? Yeah, you did. I mean, is there a right question answer to any of these things? Where do you find home, Tolly?
Akbar.
What's Akbar at Tolliver?
It's a queer bar in East Hollywood on Sunset and Fountain, and it's my favorite place on earth because, you know, they're always playing Donna Summer or whatever. And
they are.
And I just used to go there with my ex, and it just has this like special place in my heart. It's like my first LA home. Mm-hmm. And so it's just like continued to be that. And it's actually the only place I miss in quarantine, to be honest.
You know what's funny? I was going to text you on Sunday and be like, hey, you want to go meet up at Akbar for drinks? And I was going to be like, let's play pretend. But, you know, it ain't shit funny about pretend these days. So
no.
I didn't send you that text message.
Yeah, that would have been heartbreaking.
I can't deal with any more sadness right now.
I know. It's exhausting.
What are you searching for?
In life or in sexuality kind of thing?
In both.
I guess in life, I'm, you know, I hate to make it like a career goal, but, you know, I'm trying to be this really well-respected music. At this point, because I'm not 20, I'm like, you got to change the goal, change the goalpost a little bit. So I'm just trying to be like, you know, a really well-respected artist. Like, oh, wow, this guy is a really great actor, musician, singer, dancer, creative person who like has some sort of authority in the scene. Like, oh, he's great writer. Look at all these musicians he's highlighted and whatnot. Let's create this mythos. Then it's like, oh, okay, he's the most trusted voice or some shit. But also, I don't know, I think in the back of my mind, I'm like, I really do still want to be a pop star, kind of.
You're my favorite pop star.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. But yeah, like, you know, directing and stuff like that. I started doing that with you. And so it's tough because I don't know where the end is, but it's just like, I know that I'm going there.
Well, that's interesting because the reason why I started this class was all about like quest. It's called Queer Quest. And do you feel like you're on like a good part of your quest, like in your quest in life, your quest in music and art and all that stuff?
I do. And you know what's really weird is like, I feel like I'm about to release this EP or whatever, and I think the songs are whatever. They're like, okay. But as far as like the art around the project, like the music videos and all the album art, it's like the queerest I've been publicly, which is really exciting for me. And it definitely makes me feel like I am on the right path, or I forget what the exact phrasing was of the question, but it makes me feel like I am on the right path in that queer journey, whatever. It's like, finally, because like, it's like, you know, when you, I've been like out essentially for like 10 years, maybe 11 now actually at this point. And you don't realize that you've spent so long trying to find like exactly where you kind of fit into the spectrum of like queerness and whatnot. So like for a long time I was like, you know, I'm gay. So I was, you know, I'm at the gay bar and she's like, I'm part of like gay bar culture and whatnot. And after a while you're like, I actually don't relate to these people super well. It's just like I don't fuck with Lana Del Rey. Like not even interested in her, you know what I'm saying? Like, or whatever, you know, the thing is. And then you sort of, after time, you sort of mold into yourself, which I think is this like, you know, kind of impish guy, like, you know, this kind of thing that I am, where it's just like, it feels more like Prince to me than like, where it's just like, what is he? I don't know. Whatever.
Do you feel like your new content is reflective of that? Like where I know we don't like spectrums, but like masculinity, femininity, do you feel like you're blending that, or do you feel like there's some otherworldly thing going on with like the content or like the presentation that you are at with your music?
Wow, I love that. I feel like I'm presenting more masculine still, but what I've been trying to do, I guess, is present a little bit more, just a little bit more femme, just like, I've been starting to move toward that generally for a while. And I think, honestly, one of the big things that I hate about this pandemic is I haven't been able to buy clothes.
And you're fucking good at that.
Yeah, because I was like really wanted to like make this move toward like having my photo shoots be more feminine, you know, just be more that way. Because I like did that in New York with Uhuru and Jordy, and it felt so good to be like just on stage in like a, you know, whatever we were wearing, like a jump or bodysuit, like fishnet bodysuit kind of thing. I felt so empowered, just feeling feminine and feeling strong and whatnot. And I was like, oh, I want to do this more and explore this more.
Would you ever see yourself wearing a dress for one of your gigs or one of your photo shoots or a video?
I think it would have to feel like an androgynous dress kind of vibe. You know what I'm saying? Because people have asked me like, do you want to do drag? I'm like, not really. That doesn't really like do it for me so much. But, you know, like fucking floral print head to toe, titties out thing, and like heels does it for me. You know, and then like maybe some highlighter popping or whatnot. So like more of a mix does it for me. But I've never really had a strong desire to like present fully as a woman.
Let's do that. I remember the last gig that we did in San Francisco, you wore this pink wig.
Yeah.
What was the inspiration behind that?
Fuck. I don't even know how I got this wig, but it was definitely part of this process of like of feeling just like of trying to get more comfortable in that space, because I felt so excited about my time in New York and feeling more feminine there. So like I came across a wig somehow. I don't know how I got this pink wig. And I just started wearing it at shows because it made me feel good. It felt good to like touch my hair and like feel different. Yeah, exactly. Like feel new. And then I played this show, and then like these like old white dudes who were like putting out my record hated the show and hated the wig. And you know, they're old straight guys. And that just inspired me to wear it more. I was like, oh, then I'm on the right track. because because they hate it.
I love that.
Well,
Who's the first person on screen or on stage or in music that you felt connected to?
oh God, I thought you were gonna say like queer person.
Anyone. It doesn't have to be queer. Just someone that you recognized yourself in.
Yeah, I know I'm like close to this answer here because I remember like high school and shit like that, and then there was finally a moment where I was just like, you know who? It's probably an answer earlier than this, but like Kanye was definitely somebody where I was like, hey, this guy's kind of like me, like, he's like kind of a weird guy, and
Because he was from Chicago, or
yeah,
do you think like his aesthetic spoke to you?
yeah, his aesthetic spoke to me, and then like, I think a lot of times like the Jay-Z type dudes and shit like that really intimidated me as a kid, and I got like beat up a little bit, not a ton, but it was regular. So I would just stay at home all day because like all the kids would take my basketball at the park and like take my shoes and shit like that. So I was just like, let me just stay in. I got really like shy, I guess. And then when I saw Kanye and like this whole era of like Kanye, Kid Cudi, and all these like dudes and whatnot, I was like, oh, okay, wait, I kind of vibe with this a lot more, which is nice because then it allowed me in the future to come back around to Jay-Z and shit like that and be like, okay, I'm more confident in myself now. I can kind of engage with this without feeling like, like.
I actually remember in high school for myself, like Kanye was, well, I don't know that I'm like the number one Kanye fan in the world, despite the fact that he is like on some psycho shit right now.
Yeah.
But I remember feeling very connected to Kanye, like in high school, because he was just like this. He was like the first like middle class black kid whose like mama was super educated, and he wasn't like on some weird hood shit. And he was like wearing kilts and skirts and pink polos, and I just remember being like, this is like some weirdo black art shit that I want to be affiliated with at that age. So it's interesting that Kanye was someone that spoke out or like jumped out for you too.
Yeah, and I forgot all about the pink polos and whatnot, and like that was definitely a thing. I was just looking for anybody who felt like to the left, so I felt good.
I love that.
Yeah.
When do you feel most safe?
At Akbar. That's such an interesting question right now. I feel really safe a lot of times when I'm like just walking around. I like to take really long walks around wherever, honestly, and there's just really something about it. Just people meditate and do that kind of thing. Like walking is like my meditation. I'll just take like an hour and a half, just wander the neighborhood, listening to people's music, shit like that. I feel super safe then, which is very convenient for me because I'm like a 6'5" man. So it's just like, typically I can walk around and nobody's really gonna bother me.
Yeti walking through
East exactly. People stare, they really do, but
how does it feel when they stare?
I don't love it. And it's like, I have a lot to say about that, but it's just like, a lot of time, that's not what we're talking about, but it's just like the staring is weird a lot of times because I don't think that I'm that weird. Like we live in Los Angeles. Like there's how many arty niggas are there? There's like a million. It's just like,
well, there are, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So it's like, come on, y'all, get hip. It's just like this is the way my hair looks.
Okay.
Like whatever. I gotta fucking wash my hair.
Wait, you do have to wash your hair?
Not really. I just wash it. I wash it like once a month, but it could use some coconut oil. It's just it's very pandemic right now. It's like just like letting it ride.
Pandemic hair. I love it.
Yeah.
When's the first time that you realized you were black?
I feel like super early on. Like I was born in '86, and that was like Reagan. So it was like right in the heart of that. It was like right in the heart of that shit. And so it was like it was like constant rhetoric about like going back to Africa, constant rhetoric about like fucking Kuji Chakalia, constant rhetoric about, you know, just like Kwanzaa, and just like, you're black, you black, you black, black pride, you know, growing up in the hood. And I was just very aware of it immediately, you know, that like white people are over there and we're over here. And then Chicago was like a very clear divide, you know, like almost every place is segregated, but Chicago's like harshly segregated. So I never saw, I like literally, probably, I'm sure I saw a white person at some point. I don't think I saw a white person until I was like 12 or something. It was like it was deep into my life. And then like they would come into the class and like a substitute teacher or something like that. I remember it was that. And we'd all be like, we're in trouble. Like we thought like we were in deep trouble because there was like a white person there. Like something terrible had happened.
What made white be like, why white? Why was white the signifier for danger or trouble? Like, whoa.
You know, it'd be tough to kind of put myself back in that place, but like, I know that it mostly is because it was rare. And all the white people you saw on television were like, you know, I guess like politicians or like cops or something like that. So it was like, it felt like if there's a white person here, they're a cop. Like somebody is here to snatch somebody away. When I was a kid, my dad would always be like, DC, you know, it was always like DCFS or some shit like that. So if anybody comes, you don't say shit to them, blah, blah, blah. I'll kill them before I let them take you away. And so it was always this vibe of like, if a white person shows up, they're here to take somebody away.
Okay, wow. That's scary. I mean, it's accurate, but God damn.
Digging shit up that I just, you know, things that I've just been like, ooh.
That you just like suppressed.
Whatever. Oh. Didn't happen.
When's the first time you realized you were queer, friend?
So it's so lame because I realized I was queer because I was like watching porn. Well, I guess a couple different things, but like watching porn, and then I was like, it just dawned on me one day that I was like searching for a specific man in the porn. I was like, there'd be like these terrible series. It'd be like, you know, like daddy fucks young girl or something, you know, like of age or something like that. But then I'd be going through the thing and I'd be like, oh, not interested in this one. But because I was looking for the daddy, I was looking for like the older dude. And then it like dawned on me one day. I was like, oh shit. But there was that, and then there was also just like a lot of people where I like went on this trip to Seattle with like a work friend or something like that. It was a long story. We were in a hostel, and he was like sleeping in the bed, and I like looked over at him, and I was just like, I don't know where this is going, this interview, but I was just like, I was so hard. I was just like, I was like, oh my God. And then when you're like looking at, you know, a man shirtless and you're like, I am hard. And he's just like on the bed, you're like.
How old were you when that happened?
That was probably 20, like I was like 23 or something like that. And that's when I like was like, okay, for sure.
Okay.
Like, definitely. It's not just like in it, like porn, like maybe, ooh, I think I'm kind of, it was like, okay, here I am in real life. This is happening.
How much of, because I want you to talk about, I want you to talk about like your process into porn. Like, how did you get into cutting porn, specifically like gay Mormon porn that I know that like, what was that process? And like, have you always had a thing for porn, or was it just like, I need an editing job, this is what I'm gonna do?
It was like a perfect mix because it was like, you know, I need to work because the journalism wasn't paying shit, but also like I guess I didn't realize how much more I like porn than other people or something like that. Because I was like really I had already heard of Mormon Boys. I was like a fan of the product already before they asked me, before I even knew that I was going to work for them. And I don't know, I think it was just kind of perfect because like I was on like a thread with, you know, like it was Teresa, Vanessa, Taylor, and Gerardo, and they were like, who's the horniest person? They were like, Tolliver's the horniest person. Sluttiest. Who's the sluttiest person in the group? And I was like, Tolliver's the hoe in the group. And I'm just rambling here, but my point is, it was a perfect job for me because I'm already like pretty keyed into like fuck, I wanna 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 fuck. And I watch porn a lot, and I'm already into this zone. So I'm like interested in the business of porn. I think porn is like, people always ask me if I'm desensitized. I'm like, no, I'm like, this shit is still pretty hot. You know,
Random
like
question: would you ever go to the valley and make some?
I wanted. Well, you mean like be in porn?
Yeah, be a porn star.
I would do like a jerk off porn for sure. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like I would be really stressed out on a porn set. 'Cause I've edited so many of these porns and watching like somebody melt down and like be like, sorry, I can't.
Seen that like when you're cutting shit?
Oh yeah, when they can't get hard or whatever, it's like so dispiriting to watch. You're like, I feel so bad for you because they have to like, you know, they put it back in. They're like, okay, I think I'm good. Cut. You want to try and go get hard? Because you can, I mean, you can tell right away when the shit's falling. You know, like
Wow.
you can tell immediately. I feel like I can tell even when you can't see the full thing. You can just see like the little 1/3 of it going in and out. You're like, that's a soft 1/3.
And you're like, Dad, can't use this clip. Next.
Yeah, yeah. People are gonna hate it.
Interesting. I didn't expect this to go.
Yeah.
I love it.
I didn't either.
What would you say to your 12-year-old self?
Oh man. So 12 was like a year after my dad died. And my therapist actually had me do this exercise once where I had to talk to my like 11-year-old self. But it's like when I think about my little 12-year-old self, it almost feels like all warnings, which is really dark. Because it feels very like hey, like you know, this it's only gonna get worse from here. Because you know, your dad just died a year ago. It's like, well, you're about to move out of your little apartment in Chicago. You're gonna go have to live with your cousins where there's like 10 people in the house and whatnot. And you know, I barely had any friends and whatnot because I had to like take a 2-hour bus to and from school, buses and trains and shit. So there's no time to hang out with friends or whatever. And so I would just almost be trying to like gear my little 12-year-old self up, like, all right, man, like, get ready. and tell them like focus on this, like keep focused. Cause I was already kind of creative, arty person. I was like, focus on that. Try to live in that world. Try to find friends who are like in that world with you. And I think I'm trying to think of something positive I would say, but
I mean, it sounds positive, so it sounds realistic so far.
Yeah, exactly. It would just be like advice, like, hey man, watch out for this, watch out for that. And then like you know, I started drinking so hard when I was in college. Maybe chill, like just don't even trip. Maybe just relax. Because I was getting blacked out every day. And then had one like 12-year-old self, blobbly blue, yeah. Oh yeah, and then just like, you know, I'm always like, I came out when I was 23 or whatever. Like that's when I was like, for sure. But you go back, you're like, there were so many signs, like so many people I was friends with that like it doesn't add up why we were friends outside of the fact that I had a crush on them, and just didn't realize that that's what it was, that's what that feeling was.
Cool. What do you want to hear from your 60-year-old self?
Ooh, Godspeed. Fucking. I'm feeling weird about the porn part of our conversation. I feel like I lost my mind. But for my 60-year-old self, I really like. I have this vision of like making up for the first half of my life because I feel like I made a lot of mistakes, like in my 20s and whatnot, and I feel like the part before that was really rough just because of like life was kind of coming at me hard. So my vision since I like crossed 30 was like fix it, you know, just like. So for the second half of this show, so for Act 2, it's gonna be like, you know, as much bliss as we can possibly get, and like we're gonna get to where we're trying to get. So I would hope that 6-year-old me would be like, hey, we did it, you know, like, hey, we got there. You have a wonderful home in Rancho Cucamonga.
No. Why Rancho Cucamonga?
I've never been there. I just like the name.
It's like the whitest, blackest part in like all of California.
I don't even know what that means. You mean like Danielle Bergoli?
No. Well, yeah, her. Yeah, that it would be, yes. Rancho Cucamonga is the bad baby of like California.
Oh, well, not there. Whatever's outside of Calabasas. Maybe just Silver Lake. I have a home in Silver Lake.
That's fair.
And, you know, people like take pictures of me on their phone when they don't think I'm looking. Like, oh, that's the guy who's, oh my God, he was in that one movie, High School Musical 20.
Yes. Okay. I feel that.
Yeah.
How do you experience love, Tolliver?
You know, it's really tough because I actually have a really hard time with love. I feel very much so that I don't deserve it because of whatever. Because, like, once again, I've covered all this in therapy. Like, because my dad died early and my mom was always out of the house because she has you know, intense mental disability. I felt like very abandoned as a kid, and a lot of times when people give me love, I feel like they're just gonna leave, so I try and push them away before they can do that. Or I just feel like I have to push them away before they know the real me, before they know like how disgusting I am, or like what a shitty person I am, or something like that. And so I have a really hard time with it. Like, I feel like I've gotten better at receiving love for sure, but it's a really long road for me because, damn it, oh my God, my voice started breaking.
It's
But
an honest answer. I appreciate that.
yeah, but yeah, it's just a really long process. Like, I can tell I'm not even like close to really being in the place where I can like really receive love and be like down with it, because I don't even know if it's like that I hate myself necessarily, but there's a very strong feeling of just like, I'm gonna ruin this, I don't deserve this, or this is gonna leave me, so let's not even do it because it's just gonna go bad.
Dang.
Yeah.
Is there any time where you remember feeling like completely loved?
um Man, well, you know, I was like my mom's favorite child. I still am, technically. And, you know, you remember that feeling, being a kid, and, you know, your mom's just like, because you can tell you're her favorite. And you just feel this like unconditional love from her. And, you know, maybe she's hugging you or something like that. That's when, you know, if I really dig deep and think about it, that's for sure when I felt that sort of like unconditional love. It's funny, it's not that funny, but I cried at American Idol auditions all the time. And there's one where he's like talking about his mom dying. This dude, he's like, all he does is go like, she's like died suddenly in the middle of the night. And he goes like, you know, somebody that really loves you, you know, and the way he says like somebody that really loves you, because he's like fighting back tears and whatnot. Because you know what he means by that. He means like somebody who loves you no matter what.
Additionally,
You know, like no matter what. That he's talking his mom or whatnot. And it just breaks me every time because I'm like, yeah, that's kind of, yeah, I don't know.
if you could, this is my last question. If you could change your identity, would you? Or why?
No, I don't think I would. I think this is kind of dark, but I really love, you know, I love, you know, being Black and queer and feeling like I'm like the coolest person everywhere I go because of that. And I also, oh my, I'm whatever. We're friends, but I also like there's a lot of privileges that come with being a man and like identifying as male and whatnot. And I am completely hooked on those privileges and like very spoiled by them and whatnot. And so I really like having them.
I think it's an interesting answer because most people wouldn't even acknowledge the privileges that do, like they can't even see how man comes with privileges.
Yeah.
Or privileges comes with man, if that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you do anything, because you acknowledge that, do you do anything, actively do anything that delineates those privileges or allows other people to experience them or like share that power within spaces that you frequent?
I think I still have like a lot of work to do. I think there's still like a lot of like very like misogynist things that I think constantly, you know what I'm saying? Like I think I have a lot of like, you know, socialization and whatnot and things that I'm always trying to work on or dispel. And like sometimes it comes out in really like surprising ways or something like that. So I'll just start with that. But I do think that I've definitely made it a goal to like, I don't know, like in my work, like my artistic work, to make sure that it's like I'm working with women a lot, you know, as often as possible, and just like, and not to like take up all the space everywhere I go, because I'm also like a big person and whatnot, and just trying to be like mindful of shit in that sort of way. So not even like even like physical space when you're at a show or something like that, but then in conversation, just making sure you're like not just constantly the person jumping up and doing the thing. And I'm honestly like proud of the work I've done, because it's taking a lot of like conscious thought. But like I said, it's like, for me, it's my mind is still like, you know, probably a good 10 years of like really trying to make sure that I'm like kicking or like questioning bad thoughts that I have and shit like that, and just making sure that I'm doing the work, and then just like, you know, donating to nonprofits and whatnot, and volunteering and trying to get like find parity in that way.
This question just came to me, and because as I'm hearing you speak, I noticed that you think a lot. Well, that's not a bad thing, but you think a lot in duality, like bad, good,
right, yeah.
Dark, light. How much, if you feel comfortable answering this question, how much of religion plays into the construction of your identity?
I mean, wow. I guess a lot, huh? Because I mean, when I put out that first EP, I talked about it all the time, like in a lot of the interviews, just like that. A lot of the art is just like me feeling guilty about like running away from the church, or like upset. Like I had that one song, "You Would Hate My Life," about my dad and shit like that. Thinking, and just fucking like, I think it's everything, and I hate how insidious everything is in life, where you like, I don't see myself processing things like that. I don't think about it in real time, but it's clearly the lens through which I view everything. And once again, my therapist has talked about this. Everybody I know and love has talked about this. Is just that I'm very like, this is good, this is bad. I was bad today. I did good today. Today I am bad. You know, like,
Yeah.
And I can't imagine, I guess, where that would come from outside of like a religious lens. You know, like I remember being a kid and it was like, there was this whole rule of like, you can't blaspheme the Holy Spirit. And I don't even know what that means. I don't think anybody knows what that means.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think I could even figure out.
I'm like, what does that mean? But that was like, that's the one unforgivable sin or something like that, according to the Bible. And I just remember like losing my fucking mind as like a 10-year-old, being like, I can't blaspheme. What? And then like doing it by accident, being like, I'm going to hell. And just like, oh fuck, I blasphemed. Because I'm like, it's like, don't think of a blue elephant kind of thing. Like, I did it. Ah! And I, you know, so it's always there. And then you know, you're on the internet. I'm posting, you know, really gay shit, or you know, got my ass out or my dick out or something like that, and then a family member likes it, and I'm like, like, oh no, this wasn't for you. But yeah, religion plays a big part in it. Probably the biggest part. All my shit, all the songs kind of talk about that.
Is there anything that I didn't touch on that you really want to express or get off your chest?
I guess I think that it's like kind of interesting being queer during a pandemic. I'm sure many people are going to write about this generally, but a big part of it for me is like public expression of queerness, and like being out and about and looking queer or something like that, or being around other queer people. And when I can't do that, I feel very not myself. I feel very, it makes me feel kind of like empty, I guess, in a way, because there's no like refilling of that energy of like, yeah, here's your people. It just feels like you're here on earth out of context. And then
Wait, so you say you feel in earth out of context because of the quarantine?
Yeah.
Can't go outside and really express yourself.
Exactly. There's no like content. There's no like, this is who I am in relation to this person, and this is who, you know, like there's no jazz. It's just like, It's just you and your thoughts, and you know, you start to feel not. I start to feel kind of unqueer or something like that.
How much of your queerness is performed?
I think a lot of it because I'm a performer, so it's just like, and I think of like my singing self as a character, but also as just like a solid extension of me, just like a heightened version of me. And so the performance for me is still me. It's still like real life, and it's maybe like who I want to be or something like that on a daily basis. And so yeah, I guess a lot of it, a ton of it is performed.
What's the first thing you're gonna do after quarantine?
I mean, come on.
I feel like I know the answer.
I think we all know the answer to that.
I'm not gonna say it out loud, but I feel like I know the answer.
Yeah, I think we all know where I'm going. We all know what I'm gonna do. And yeah, prayer, Bible study,
church,
sharing circles, church.
Mm-hmm.
Hit it straight there.
All right, my love. Thank you so much for taking this on.
Yeah, thank you. It was nice to think about myself.
Hold up. All right, I'm gonna stop recording.